Morning and welcome to the Soulful Illumination Show. Welcome everybody listening from around the world, the known universe, those traveling across space-time through dimensional portals and other realms to the Soulful Illumination Show, the show about spiritual ascension through energetic frequencies, a show about connecting to the collective consciousness through heart awakening and allow those energetic vibrational frequencies to send you into spiritual ascension. I am coming at you from Area 51 near Las Vegas, Nevada, somewhere in an unknown bunker. I am your host, the Lady of Laughter and Light, Nicole Borghi. I am a psychic medium, a soulful coach, and intuitive channeling the ascended spirits and soulful illumination to you so you can be illuminated in your mind, body, and soul holistically, sharing the tools to become the creator of your life. That's what I do as a soulful coach. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the hour of empowerment. Are you ready for this? We are getting close to Halloween, aren't we? We are getting very close to that veil thinning above and beyond those changing energies. Went through Mercury retrograde. We are getting ready for that the second full moon in the month of October. Amazing, right? If you want to clear, if you want to cleanse anything that no longer serves you in that area around you, in your auric field, cut any cords, this is the time. You're going to want to go into the energy forecast of Saturday. So it should be Saturday is the 31st, the second full moon. If you can, you're going to want to power down for as long as you can, as much as you can. You're going to want to power down your electronic devices, because what happens is we want to go and detach. We want to clear. And that energy is fast. It's changing. It's about 6 times its usual strength. So anything that you're manifesting, bad or good, anything that you are manifesting is going to happen. And it's going to happen 6 times. It's going to happen quick. So be ready for it. So study now, practice your rituals, cleanse and clear, and get ready for Saturday, because that energy is just going to wash away and clear everything out for you. Okay? That is what you're looking at for this Saturday. It is going to be very powerful. So if you have any full moon rituals that you have ready, that you usually practice, things such as bathing and cleansing and in a purifying bath, right? Warming up that bath water, a salt bath, maybe some lavender, some rose petals, anything at all. You want to get that ready, because Saturday is the day. If you have to go to work, whatever you have to do, you have family time. As much as you can, take mindful time to just power down. That is what you're looking at today for that full moon forecast. Let's look into our Runestone reading for today, folks. The energy reading, the energy forecast from the Runestones states that we are going to progress into the future. And so I have it written down. There's a lot of notes because there's a lot of energy going on, and I don't want to miss a thing for you. I want to make sure that you're empowered. I want to make sure that you are ready, because this is the time. This is the year. 2020 hindsight will tell you that you forgot, or you coulda, woulda, shoulda. Do it now. Do not wait for that to happen, because this is the time. These are the times. This is the energy you want to manifest right now. You want to bless everybody around you. You want to make safe passage for people. These are the times of the ascension that we have prophesized, that we have talked about, that many of those mentors of mine have spoken of. Shri and Kira, my mentor Beverly Zymet, has been talking about this for years. And I want to tell you, this is serious time. We've got a lot going on. The energies are a little bit crazy out there, but use them to your advantage. You need to go within to yourself so you don't go without. Use that power that you have and make sure that you use it wisely. So go within yourself and choose to be the creator of your destiny. Because if you don't make a choice, someone else will make the choice for you. You don't want the ascension ship to come down from the cosmos, those extraterrestrials, the Lumerians, and what have you, to come down, those ascended masters, come down with a ship, send the ship to you, and oh, you forgot a pack. So what? Get on the ship, board it, get ready. These are the times we've been talking about. These are the energies of now. Use them so you can have such magical progression throughout the rest of the year, through the new year, and a new you. That is what you want to put out there right now. So write it down, manifest it. If you can't have your special practice on the full moon, do it the day before. Use the energies. Use a little bit of that. Start to get ready. Start to put those wheels in motions a day ahead of time. So Iwaz in the runic stones talks about progression. So you're moving, right? You're manifesting into the progression. You're using the future, right? You have movement, you have momentum. And so the portals are opening. And usually around Halloween this time, the magical beings that we have will come through the veil. So you can use it as Halloween. You can use it in Wicca, however you want it. Dios de Muertos, you want to honor your ancestors and honor the ancient wisdom that they have. Remember, honoring is power, understanding our past, where we came from and where we are going. For you, for your loved ones, for your family, for your friends, what imprint are you leaving out there right now? Use those powers because those ancients are coming through. The veil thins this time of year naturally, even though our powers are stronger and greater. What's happening is the earth, the cosmos, all of that is opening up at once. What a chance in a lifetime for us to be on board with that. Soilo talks about victory, clear vision, and honor. So what is your vision, right? 2020 is perfect vision. What is your vision? Because if you have that right vision, you will receive victory. You will receive victory in what you manifest. Dagas talks about ambition. Have ambition. The light. The light is breaking through right now. The light is opening. The light is shining on the truth. The truth is out there. Truth hurts. I'm going to tell you, truth does hurt. It's hard to stomach. It's hard to swallow sometimes. As those veils open, no matter what side you're on, the left side, the right side, male, female, whatever politically, use the light. Use the powers, Luke, that they have given you, right? If you want to fight in Star Wars, you want to use your fairy dust, whatever you want to use, that light is there for you to perpetuate the movement for you on the planet. This is destined time. These are turbulent times. But the veil is thin, and we have been blessed with this energy. And, you can make it as positive or negative as you want. But the truth is that you need to look into your shadow. You need to look inside at who you are, what you want to change. And as you change, as you fully transform and you change your DNA makeup, you also change your ancestors and your family. What? That is awesome, right? That's a little bit of a truth bomb right there, because as you change yourself, you change the people around you. Not always will those people come with you, but maybe you can bless that energy and that energetic frequency that has been time-stamped for right now. So if you want to change that, whatever those spirits and whatever those ancestors have imprinted on right now is what you want to change. And you do that through DNA, cellular transformation. If you want some more help with that, go to my website, illuminatevegas.com, illuminatevegas.com. Book a discovery call with me. It's free. We can work on how to transform and change what is you, what has been imprinted in your life. What's the energetic pattern and the frequency that you're at right now, and where do you want to be at? How do you change that? How do you transform that? Right? It's a little bit hard. It's a little bit different sometimes for us because we don't know how to do it, and we want to learn how to do it. And in order to do that, we need help. And that is what I've been guided to reach out and offer, that is that discovery session. So you can work with me in a soulful coaching session. You know, I also offer psychic surgery, and I want to show you guys that there's ways to heal and remove that burden that we have on ourselves right now, and lift that up. And sometimes it's so heavy on top of us. Sometimes that burden is so heavy, and we need somebody else to lift it for us. And we will find through that lifting of that burden, the ease and the simplicity. I'm going to move my camera a little bit. Okay, there we go. So I am ready. And I want to thank you. I am here for you. Go to www.illuminatevegas.com, book a discovery session with me, and we can go ahead and transform. We can find that alchemical change. All right. Thank you very much. Right now, I'm going to introduce my guest. I'm going to have him move over here. We are live over here, and I'm going to have my guest come into the camera right now, and we're going to have to move around a little bit because we are sharing one camera instead of calling each other, right? And so I am here in a bunker somewhere near Area 51. I am not kidding you when I tell you I am in that super secret spot. And this is my guest today, David. He is a Freemason. And if you've been blessed, and I thank you, if you've watched those videos about Ask a Mason, what those videos established, if you haven't, go to my YouTube channel, Illuminate Vegas, and check those videos out, because you want to find out how male and female energies balance. How do they work together? And we're going to find out that today. So I'm going to let my guest introduce himself. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, hi. My name is David. I'm a member of the Freemasons of Nevada. I'm a free and accepted Mason, have been for approximately 10 years. I belong to several different subordinate bodies of the order. I belong to the York Rite and the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, and I'm heavily involved with a lot of the charities and a lot of the stuff that they get involved with. And it's just a fun organization, and I'm here to take any questions or answer any questions or concerns that you may have.
So basically, what we're working on today is, I know that most people, when they think of Masons or Freemasons, what they usually think about is they think about the symbols and the symbolism, right? And they think about the signs like this, the sign and the symbol, and the secrecy behind it. But is it really secrecy? Let me have you explain, David, if you would. What do these kind of symbols, I guess, symbolize, lack of a better word right now? What does this mean to you that you can share with the public?
It's really not a secret. These are what we call two of the three great lights in Masonry, the square and compasses. The compasses is emblematical of many things. One of the things that we do as free and accepted Masons is our whole goal is to take good men and make them better. So we use the symbol of the compasses to circumscribe our actions and our desires and keep our passions within due bounds, so that we don't get out of bounds and get out there and make bad decisions. So the compass helps us keep our emotions and our passions in check, and the square is to square our actions so that we're just kind of stable and not impulsive and that type of thing. So anytime you see those, it's a reminder to all of us who are Masons of our desires to keep our passions and our beliefs in due bounds.
So it makes you, it helps you kind of signify your morals or your ethics, or how to act properly as a Mason, and how you would act as a person honoring the Freemasonry.
Yes, yes. In fact, when we see another Mason with a ring or a symbol like that, one of our big desires is to keep our passions and keep our aggression in due bounds, especially with other Masons. So if we see another Mason who is having difficulty, let's say he's upset or maybe had some kind of a situation, we are always here to help. And you got a Mason who's angry about something, and you see that he's wearing the ring, and we will just walk up and give him whatever kind of assistance we need, and just kind of reminder, as I am another Mason sees me and he realizes I've got to keep my passions in check and not get emotionally upset and say things and act.
So it doesn't only work as a Mason brother to brother, but it works as how compassionate you are towards other human beings.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
How you represent yourself with a loving heart, and soul-filled creation in your brotherhood, and that strength to other people publicly, and
Yes.
reaching out to others, and how you share. Because I know that the Masonry, and we also talked about this in our videos, Ask a Mason, we talked about the charities, like the Shriners, and how those affect, because a Shriner is not only representing themselves, but you're representing the doctors, the nurses, you're representing absolutely the children that you're helping heal, the mothers and the fathers that need help, and you give them the full assistance. And so if we work with our heart in a charitable way to one another, we'll definitely be able to share that charity and share the love for other people in other ways. It also is so great, I think, when you have love and compassion, and you share that, and you represent love and compassion, more people are apt to join you as a friend, to become a friend, or get into your group, or get involved in your charity, or donate money. So to you, because and it's a worthy cause. But what really, people, it's the representation of you as a person wherever you go. If you're in Masonry, if you're in a church, or if you're in any charity, if you're charity for children. My friend Kimberly Miles has Shiro. She has a charity, and she represents herself authentically, in a true heart, and she reaches out not only to children, but to women and men. And I believe that that's what you do for the Shriners, right?
Yes, the shrine has of course, the hospital for the children, which is just it's just probably our biggest claim to fame as Masons. And the things they do it's amazing. The help that they give to the children who have, chronic illnesses, deformities, birth defects, and all of it's free. And it's an amazing operation. I just can't even explain it, because as a Mason, one of our obligations is, should we run into a member of the human family who is in need of our assistance, it's our duty to contribute as much as their necessities may require, being either monetarily, or if we have to, let's say, pluck off a shoe and give it to them, whatever it is we have to do to help that member of the human family, especially a brother Mason, get by in their situation of darkness, and help them, bring them to light. That's what we do.
And that's how we should all work. That's how we should all think to work. And through Soulful Illumination, through Oneness Talk Radio, and through the people and the families I represent as a host, or the people and guests that I bring on my show, I want to share with them that deep felt love and that heart awakening that I have, because for the good of the conscious collective, people, that's what we're looking at. And we are looking at today and every day to represent the divine order of male and female, right? We want to look at this behind me. It's the male and female. It's always in balance. And so the symbolisms here, I believe, is that the balance that they're showing?
It is one of the balances. The checkered pavement, as we call it, is always the balance between dark and light, between good and evil. And there's, obviously there's some connections between male and female. Women are held in very high esteem in our order. So
you're already separating as in a soulful light, in a planetary way.
Correct.
The cosmos is all one. And what we're looking at, again, what I had mentioned before in the energy forecast is we are ready on this full moon with the veil thin, with the portals opening. You want to represent the conscious collective and the balance of the female and male energies. If you are imbalanced, male and female, right and left, if you're imbalanced through your body, your spine, your kundalini, your serpent energy that represents, or your chi, what have you, you want to ascend and you want to ascend higher. And how do you do that? You have to be in balance. Be in balance as much as you can. Give yourself grace. Give yourself patience. And just in a heartfelt, as you awaken, what you're working on is you're working on to achieve the perfect balance. And as your energies ascend and they become higher and they become stronger and they go out more and more, just think of your auric field. As that energy is blessed and the light comes upon us and we utilize that light for the powers of good and not evil, we will bless ourselves with that ascension through the 5th and the 6th and the 7th dimensions. And we look at our ritualistic behaviors, because we all have, most of us, at least the ones I know watching the show, utilize rituals, traditions, and soulful ascension. Is there anything that you can talk about that you guys utilize to help that, not only yourselves, but to help the conscious collective in your rituals?
In our rituals, one of our big the big crescendo is being brought to light. That is our big thing. We use the blazing star as our emblem. There's a lot of astronomical and astrological symbols in Freemasonry. Like you got the spherical body that represents the earth, and then you got the spherical body that represents the heavens and the stars and the sun, and you got the all-seeing eye, which is elevated above all else. And
so the all-seeing eye over here, is that watching out over everybody?
Yes, it means it watches all of our actions. It watches everything we do, and the all-seeing eye is like a protector, and it's very important to the symbol of Masonry. It's very important.
So it's all-seeing, all-knowing.
Correct, and you see it on the dollar bill, and you see it on a number of other things, and people refer to it as the Eye of Horus. And if you can even get into that aspect of it with Horus and the.
So we have that here in case you guys need a little bit. Oh, maybe it'll come on our screen. Here it is. This right here. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, the Eye of Horus.
The Eye of Horus right here. And that has different meanings.
It does.
But that is all an all-seeing eye as well. And you can get into that. And so what you want to think about, I think for me and many of my guests, in relationship to that, what you're talking about is you're talking about the continuously having somebody watch you. But we're not talking about the 360 camera. We're not talking about, Big Brother's watching. What we're talking about is Big Brother Source, or the creator in the universe, that is watching us and blessing us with that attention and that love. Just think about it as a mother and a father. You want somebody to be watching and caring for you. And if you're on your best behavior, like a Mason would be, Girl Scout or Boy Scout, that's why we teach those things. It's not to put somebody in a cult. It's not to create that, but it's creating that good-hearted person and to remind them. And we all need to be reminded to be good. We all get in ourselves sometimes in situations, and we're human. We are blessed to be human and feel into our passions, into our anger, our love, our joy, our depression. Those are only meant to be felt for a moment and then move on. Things like depression or anger, you want to feel it, understand it, and move on it, and turn to the polarity of that emotion and turn it into the joy and the love. It can't always be rainbows and unicorns, but in order to get to that, you have to feel into it. And that's why they watch over us and remind us to be good people. And that's what these kinds of shows are as well. And let's go back into, in case people didn't watch the Ask a Mason, because I know they'll watch after this, but we talked about the trine, or the three, what did you call them on the astrolabe? The three women?
The three graces.
The three graces. And what do the three graces represent?
Well, the number 3 is very important in Masonic lore. There's 3 degrees, and there's 3 main officers, 3 primary officers of the lodge, and there's 3 lights that light up the interior of the lodge. There's 3 is very important, and the 3 graces are just an extension of that. And one of the things that we do is we have a ritual, and one of the rituals is there's a weeping young lady over a broken column, which denotes that somebody has passed, and she's, the broken column indicating that their life is no longer, of this earth. And there's Father Time is counting the ringlets in her hair as each year or each day unfolds. Father Time is unfolding and counting the ringlets of her hair to denote our time on earth. And that's denoted by a young lady weeping over a broken column. So
how much she cares,
right.
How much she loved that person, how much that person will be missed, and what a great and how grateful they are to have a blessed life on this earth.
Yes.
So I'm just going to share this post, you guys. I'm going to take a second and try to get this back together here. We have a few things that are little hiccups, and if you have been on Zoom or Facebook or anything like I have, folks, you understand that you have to have patience and grace for these beautiful sharing devices that we have, because we wouldn't be here in front of you today if we didn't have them. But sometimes they can call out to us and say, hey, we don't want to always cooperate, but there we go. Okay, now we are back on track here. And I'm just trying to get a few things in there. And folks, so some of the questions that I had that had gotten brought up to me are really people's concern that it's a male community. And only males, but there are other women's groups that flow through the Masonic Lodge. What are those groups?
There are actually more women's organizations associated to the Freemasons than there are male organizations, because you have the Social Order of the Beauseant, and you have the Rainbow, the Daughters of Job, Daughters of the Nile, all these appendant bodies that are all either their father or husband or such has to be a Mason, and it just kind of spirals out from there. Order of the Eastern Star, which is a unisex order of Masonry that has male and female, although it seems like mostly females are running the show, and the males take lesser roles, like chaplain and stuff like that. But usually the women are the ones who run the operation. The one that I'm closest associated with is the Social Order of Beauseant, and they are strictly a women's Masonic order. In fact, I don't know what they do in their meetings. They don't even allow me in there, so I don't know what their rituals are. And they meet on the same night that we meet with York Rite. York Rite meets once a month, and the Social Order of Beauseant holds their joint meetings. We have before they go into their session and we go into our session, there's what we call the evening of fellowship, where sometimes they will bring stuff, food and cake and all kinds of good stuff. And one weekend a month when we meet, they bring the stuff, and the following month we'll bring stuff. And sometimes they have a cooking competition, and it's really kind of fun. And they are a big part of keeping our support going. I mean, without them, it would be very difficult to have a really good fellowship, through the York Rite with just a bunch of guys hanging around, and then also the Christmas party. They organized a Christian Christmas party, and they had the Rainbow Girls. They had the choir from one of the high schools come in and sing, and it was just a really nice event. We had set up a whole thing for 80 people to come in and enjoy this thing, and the women were out there spreading the word, saying, "Hey, come to this event. We're going to have some
So it's more of a community."
Yeah. And 150 people showed up, and we were like, "Oh crap, we ran out of food." So, but that's just that's the way it goes. So the women are very, very instrumental in making this a success.
And it's the best thing is to reach out to the community and show people your love and support.
Right.
And you're not necessarily looking for maybe membership. You're just trying to give that heartfelt embracement and that soulful light and love
Right.
to other people and become part of the community. And I think that is kind of hard to do, especially in a place like Vegas, to really establish it. And I'm sure the Masons have been here since the beginning of
Yes.
Vegas. So there's generations there.
Right.
So, and they come in there. So you got like the mom and the dad in different parts of Masonry and coming together with their children. And how does it represent? What are the male and female breakoffs for the children?
There's an order called the Order of Demolay, which is young men. And there's a thing called the Rainbow Girls for the young ladies. And the Rainbow Girls usually, like when we have a ceremony, like a installation of officers at a lodge, the Rainbow Girls will be dressed up in their ballroom gowns, and they'll assist the Masons into reporting to their stations within the lodge, and they'll give them their their implement of office, whatever it may be. And the Rainbow Girls really, really help set that up. And that usually comes from the moms. There's a couple of Freemasons that are, we call them Rainbow Dads, because these guys have nothing but daughters, and they bring the daughters into the Rainbow Girls, and we call them Rainbow Dads because they bring the girls in to really help us out.
See, that's awesome, because it teaches through the family and through the unity that you're spreading kind of the word and sharing the conscious collective and the things that you've been blessed to share and give. And that is so important when you're doing charity or just giving to your neighbor. And right now, people, because of what's going on and the change in our world, and sometimes the times can be chaotic or depressing. And some people can be without. And how do you guys reach out to those that are in need of help through your service? And they go maybe to brothers or people that are connected to your lodge, to reach out just to your kind of family members in a sense.
I mean, it's mostly just word of mouth. Like if somebody's having a hard time financially or whatever, they we'll be more than happy. Like if they need medical care, we have a speech clinic for people who have speech impediments for children through the Scottish Rite. And generally the schools are the biggest avenue of, hey, this family might be in need. We give out scholarships, but the public schools are a big conveyor of that information. And now with the pandemic, the public schools are closed, and we've had a little bit of a struggle with our governor to even let us meet. So we've had a little back and forth with him. And but generally people know that if you know a Mason and you know them really well, then you know that we're not out to secretly subvert the government and take over the planet and hide the Ark of the Covenant. And, basically,
you don't have it in the back. It's not in the back of your lodge stored somewhere special.
We don't know where the Ark of the Covenant is, or do we? But no, our fraternity is it's out there just to help humankind. One of our big things is, if you ever run into a member of the human family who needs help, it's our obligation to try and give it to them as much as we can. So that's part of our obligation as a Freemason.
Right. So you guys don't go digging in tunnels in your cloaks and get your white cloak on with a big red, is it the big red cross on the back? And you're not digging through tunnels with carrying the big gold, big gold Ark of the Covenant. But you see people that basically the thing is to share that as we talk with each other and we have live conversation, and as we communicate with one another live in person or live on shows, and you listen to these, you're listening to the conversations. So go ahead and chat. If you have a question, reach out in the chat, say hello. Reach out if you have a question, put something in there. You can even reach out after the show. You can reach out to me, Nicole, and I'll get the question to David, because the question is posed is that it's such a male oriented group, but realize that women, we have our own groups. We have our own things that we do, whether it's the small little tribe that goes to the spa day, and that's a group of women, right? Maybe it's your tribe and you're going to a Kundalini or a yoga circle or a drumming circle, and it's just representing the energy of women. If we only focus on one thing, we cannot unite. If we do not unite, we cannot change the world. We cannot change the world by that hate, the hateful speech, the not loving one another. We can all have our differences, and that's okay. But remember, if we don't do it now, when will you do it? Right? When are you going to do it? Do it now. Do it today. Find somebody that maybe you have a little difference of opinion with, and learn and understand through conversation, the power of conversation, the power of the spoken word. Words are powerful. And for so many years, our ancestors have shared stories around the fire, in the home, on the campground, mother to daughter. We share stories about experiences. We share stories about our love, or the trifle things that have happened in our life, or the triumphs we've had, and the things that we've experienced, our successes, and how we've overcome even in any sadness or anything we have. You don't know unless you listen to the story and you want to talk and get to know one another. That's how you learn, is by listening to each other. And so I'm getting a little bit of a buzz here, and I'm going to let you talk, David, about what do you, the Masons, we have a full moon coming up. Do you guys work with astrology or anything like the full moons, or any ceremonies?
Not specifically, but the three great lights in Masonry, of course, the Holy Bible, the square, and the compasses. But the three lesser lights are the sun, the moon, and the master of the lodge. Now, the moon is very important to Masons. The whole lunar eclipse, and in the full moon, and one of our main symbols is a square and compass with a moon inside of it, and that symbolized the sun setting and the moon rising. And as the sun sets in the west, the senior warden of our lodge wears that symbol, as that's where the moon rises. So the moon is very important. The planets are very important, as we have one of our symbols. As you see the two pillars in that symbol behind us, that is actually the symbol of the Grand Lodge of Russia. So just to show you how far this goes, even with our political differences, the symbols in Russia are the same as the symbols in the United States. And the spherical body with the lines on it is the Earth, and the other dark spherical body is the celestial heavens. And you go into places that have.
So this one right here,
correct,
would be the heavens, and is this our Earth right
yes,
up here?
Yes.
Okay. And the spears, the columns represent?
The columns represent strength and industry.
Okay, so you have strength with the world and the cosmos.
Yes.
So the foundation with everything, even astrological or spiritual, as some people like to talk, or that energy in the universe working in unison together. And that would be, I guess, the symbology there.
Correct. And it's universal to every Masonic lodge in the world. I've run into people from, I think it was a lodge in Estonia. I have no idea where Estonia even is. And these guys came up to me. I was wearing my ring one day, and they came up and said, "Hey, I have something to show you." And I thought, "Oh my gosh, what did I do? I'm gonna get kidnapped." And he comes back and he shows me his ring, and he showed me pictures of his lodge on his phone. He said that although it's clandestine there, not in the clandestine sense that it's an illegal lodge, but it's very, very secretive there because the government doesn't like Freemasonry. The free part is what everybody gets bent out of shape over there for, because these guys have their own opinions, and it's just it's on the down low over there, as opposed to here. You see it everywhere. Like in the Denver airport, it's very prominent. In hotels here in Vegas, it's extremely prominent. There's one hotel where it's all over the place, and people just don't realize it when they look at it. But it's out there, and
is there anything, for example, if somebody went into the hotel, can you give that information on just something that's open and they can go, oh, look what I found. This is kind of neat.
Right. Every Mason who walks through the door of, let's say, the Venetian, for example, when you walk through the front doors by front registration, there's a big astrolabe sitting there, and it has the three graces holding it up, and there's all this information that you would look at and say that's a very Masonic symbol. In fact, it's a representation of that spherical body that you see above that column. It's a direct representation of that. And then when you look right up on the ceiling, you see a picture of a guy holding a square and compasses, and there's another guy holding a plumb line. There's just Masonic symbols all over. The ground of the hotel, the tile is set up similar to a Masonic lodge, and you see the columns everywhere, the columns of strength, beauty, industry, they're everywhere in that place.
So does the symbolism not only kind of softly say to people that the masonry is here, but that gives that kind of like an energy difference? I know, like when I use crystals or I use rune stones or things like that, that gives it a stronger energy, and crystals kind of are repeaters, and so they're energetic repeaters, and they set off that energy everywhere. When you show the symbolism and stuff like that, does that give a different energy or something? Is that what that's for?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, when a candidate enters into a lodge to become a Mason, he doesn't even have any idea that he's entering between these two pillars. There's certain degrees, and as you progress in the craft, you learn more and more about this stuff. But anybody who walks through a door and sees that type of thing, unless you've been read up on it, or you know about it, or have a family member who's a Mason who's explained that, you would never know. And that is absolutely energy. There's there's a lot of balance there in coming between those two pillars. That's very symbolic for us.
Does somebody gives that energy, or do you all in your rituals kind of send that energy together? So it's that tribe kind of feel.
It's given collectively. I mean, the person who's entering the craft doesn't know, is not aware of that. And at a certain point through the progression of the degrees, he is made aware of that. And once you're made aware of that, it stays with you forever. And you know it. Every lodge I've ever been to has that symbology, and it's very uniform to Freemasonry.
So you keep that unity from one place to the next.
Yes.
Just like you would have that connective unity for as a Reiki master. I have different symbolisms that I use that people would understand wherever I go. If I wrote those symbols down or showed them those symbols, they would understand that represents that Reiki energy, or the crystal Reiki energy. Same with runestones. Wherever you go, if you had Soilo, you probably can't see that here, but the symbolism on the runic stone itself is that representation wherever you go. So these are the Elder Futhart runes, and that symbolism would be generated everywhere, and people would understand, even without speaking that same language, they would have an understanding of it. And so do you guys use anything like that, like the storytelling or the verbal communication and things that you utilize and how you talk to one another?
Oh, absolutely. The whole ideology of Freemasonry is a story, and every degree has a different story that leads to the ultimate goal of being brought to light in Masonry. And as you achieve the third degree and you receive that ultimate light, You think, oh my gosh, I reached the apex. I'm a master Mason. And then the next thing you know, another door opens and it says, oh, by the way, there's all this other information that's out there. So the more I learn every day I go into that lodge, I learn something different. So uh, the story begins with, you as a young man, you enter into this lodge, and through your progression of degrees, allegorically, you become, age and manhood, and all those things are explained. So it's the three again, the number three. You have youth, manhood, and age, and the age indicates wisdom. And one of the things is in Masonry, they revere the older people. The old guys in our lodge have so much knowledge, and they're just so much fun to talk to, and they just know so much. And if I knew half as much as some of these older guys, it would just be amazing.
And that's how you learn about one another, and that's how you discover yourself, is sometimes through other people's stories and understanding the blessing of the lesson that you may have not realized that you have gone through, or something that you can take and learn from and go, okay, there's somebody wiser, there's something with that wisdom that you are so blessed to share, and that communication back and forth, and understanding that, okay, I see what I have done, and I see the lesson that I've learned, and I can share that with my children, or with my neighbors, or with other Masons, and share that with other people. And we all do that. It's the story we tell, but what story are you telling? So in this kind of work that I do, it's all about energy, it's all about frequency, and it's all about what I want to imprint into the world, and what I want to share moving forward. A spoken word, which is a story, and a poem, or something we share with one another. And it's not that you're forcing that opinion or that life lesson on someone, but it gives them an understanding of the choices that they make, and the choices that they can make. Because if you don't understand where I came from, you might not understand where you have come from. And if it's a family member sharing with you that beautiful story, or another Mason, or somebody from your tribe, or anything like that, you share that story, and that story grows, that wisdom grows, and your learning grows. And sometimes, just even in fables, we can learn a lesson, like Aesop's fables. You can learn a lesson from understanding what those animals or people have done, and why they made that choice. And you don't have to live that lesson. And that's in sabotaging sometimes ourselves. We don't always understand why we're doing what we do. And so, in sharing, communicating, and listening to other people's stories, you can probably process this a little bit and say, oh, I see why I've developed that pattern, or I see why they took a right turn instead of a left turn. When you have that road, and you're coming down the road, and you have the traveler, and the path that you're choosing, the left or the right, and someone's story that has been there before, someone's ancient wisdom that they're sharing with you, will give you the ability to make a wise and thoughtful choice. When we are stuck in a pattern, a traumatic pattern, and we're repeating it, maybe it's a sabotage, maybe it's a stress that we repeat with our family. Maybe it's not getting the business that we want, or the love relationship that we want. Um, how do you empower that? Are you empowering that thought and continuing the motion because it's a habit? Or do you want to change, reprogram your mind, transform your mind, and reprogram it for something stronger and better? And now you can make your own story, and you can move forward. And that is very much what the time of now is. Who are you? Who do you want to be? And what do you want to become? But we need not erase our past. And getting rid of things and stories from our past, if we don't understand it, then you have no power for the future. You want to make sure you empower yourself moving forward. And we are almost out. We've got about 5 minutes left. I'm going to give that to you. go ahead, David, and share. Is there anything that the Masons would like to move forward, especially at this time? What can you share with people?
Yeah, especially at a time like this where you heard somebody say we're approaching a winter of darkness. That is so disheartening as a Mason, because one of the things that we do is we are approaching a time of light and enlightenment, and negativity is just something that we just, we're not very fond of that. And I can just tell you as a Mason, in all the things that you had just said a few minutes ago, I don't know if you know a Mason or if you are close to one, but that pretty much sums it all up in a nutshell. We are here to help each other, raise each other up. And one of our main focuses is if we ever see a brother Mason who's heading himself toward danger for whatever reason, and he needs us to whisper wise counsel in his ear, that's what we do. And if I'm ever going to make a mistake and another Mason says, "Hey, you're fouling up, man. Hey, stop right there. You're going to mess up," I would absolutely take a step back and say, "Okay," and I think if in the human family, if we did that instead of being so negative toward each other, I think we would take a huge step toward the light. And this whole thing, it's going to be a dark winter. It's sad and it's gloomy, and oh my gosh, and they talk about this pandemic that 8 million Americans have caught this horrible disease. But I can tell you without any doubt that God is watching over us, or our supreme being, because there's 358 million Americans in this country. 8 million Americans have got this awful disease. 350 million of us have not. So that's how we look at it. 200,000 people have died, and it's tragic, but 8 million people have got it and have lived. So we look at the bright side of things, and God is watching over us. And hopefully if we're messing up, God or another Mason or another human family member will whisper wise counsel in my ear when I'm messing up. And I'm driving down the road and somebody cuts me off and I scream at them. I'm always thinking about, what would a Mason do? And I used to see these shirts a long time ago, what would a Mason do? Or don't panic, I'm a Mason. I just never gave two thoughts to that. And then I realized after being involved in the craft, this very super secret organization isn't so secret after all. It's just that people got to look for it. It's out there. And basically all we want to do is shed light and brighten everybody's life. We just are so into making everybody productive, healthy, happy, and just stop this dissension and chaos and anger and just treating each other badly. So
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And with that, people reach out if you are in a moment that you need some counseling. Reach out to me. Go to my website. You can book a discovery call. We can just chat. Anything that you want, and I'm here for you. And that's what this show is about. It's really illuminating your soul and understanding that there's people there to reach out for. And all you have to do is reach out your hand and say, "Hey, I'm kind of sinking here. I need a life preserver, a lifesaver." We're here to help. There's always help. And in our moment of need, especially now, in that chaotic moment that is you, and we are representing our insides right now in this turbulent time, in that shadow of what is us as a collective. When that comes up, you need to, if you can't look in yourself, if you can't detach, perhaps you just need somebody to hold you or hold your hand or be there for you and seek some type of counsel. And I work with that. And that is very much of my background, is that kind of mental chaos or that depression moment. Reach out and I can help you and we can do some counseling. This is the time right now to understand that people are there to love you and understand it's real and understand people are hurting and they're showing their pain. And right now, because the veil is thin, because those portals have opened, and because the truth is coming out right now, you are seeing that pain that we have had and held down for a while. It's coming out, and it needs to cleanse and clear. So use the power of the full moon. and contact me, can help you through that and guide you through that. But use the power that's there and understand that you can strengthen yourself and the people around you. And sometimes we just need to understand what's going on or what we're doing, because we get so overwhelmed and we get so in that activist time, and we are creating an activist energy, and we want to put out that anger or pain or hurt on other people. That's not what we want to do. We want to be the creator of our life, and we want to help people create better lives and create a better universe as one. And so the eye is watching, and remember, we are watching and we are here for you. So blessed be. Have a great day, folks. Thank you for joining us. See you next Thursday on Soulful Illumination. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.